guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to be talking about some tips for you and your child if your child is going to kindergarten this year. I know school is right around the corner, so I thought this would be a good video to do. So let's get started. Tip number 1. Basically teaching your child basic skills like how to hold their pencil, how to write their first name, their alphabet, colors, numbers, shapes, body parts, things like that. Just teaching them those basic skills over summer. What you can do is there are a lot of free resources available online. There's like free learning pages, even for like their name. There's like, if you just go type in Google like free, like practice child's name for free or something, there's like pages that you can print out and they'll have your child's name on it and they can like practice writing it. So that's just always a good skill for them to practice over the summer before kindergarten. So my second tip is just, if you're sending your child to school with a lunchbox, making sure they know how to like open and close the lunchbox. I know some of them, they're kind of tricky. They have like latches and all kinds of buttons and zippers and stuff. So making sure your child practices at home how to open and close their lunchbox first, because if they don't know how to do it, then you might need to get them a new one, an easier one for them to open like before school starts. And that's the same with like containers. So if you're sending them with like little containers that they have to open with fruit or snacks or whatever in them, making sure they know how to open them. And that's the same with water bottles. These are the water bottles that I recommend. These are the Thermos brand, and I got them from Walmart. They were about $12 to $15, somewhere in between there. They have a ton of styles. If you go look online, they have a lot of styles. They're really cute and they're so easy because all the kids have to do is push the button and it opens really easy. So this is the kind, sorry they're dirty because I need to wash them. But these are the kinds that my kids have, and those are the kinds that I would recommend for like water bottles. They're just so easy, and then they don't spill when they're like turned upside down. But making sure your kids know how to open all of their containers and water bottles and things like that. So my third tip is teaching your kids like how to get dressed by themselves, like how to button their buttons and zip up their jackets. They might not be perfect at it, but just introducing that, how to get dressed by themselves. Tip number 4 is teaching your child how to wipe their butts properly and how to wash their hands properly. So when they go to school, their teachers are not really going to be able to help them wipe their butts because it's usually like one teacher to a bunch of students. So they really need to learn how to like wipe their butts properly. I know it can be hard for some kids, and that's just something like with practice can help, but that is very important. And then also washing their hands properly, because we know some kids who would just run some water over their hands and then walk out the door. Being around a bunch of kids in kindergarten, it's going to be a lot of germs, so making sure your kids know how to wash their hands properly is going to be very important. Tip number 5 is just making sure you guys have extra clothes in case there's an accident. So what I do with my daughter is I just keep her some extra clothes in a little Ziploc bag, and then I keep it in her book bag just in case. And it doesn't even have to be an accident where they're peeing on themselves. Like with my daughter, one time she had spilled a bunch of water on herself somehow, and so she needed to change her pants. But just having extra clothes there, making sure they have something to change into, and then I have like a bunch of underwear and socks and things just in case, like with their lunch, they spill it on them, or if they go outside and get wet or somehow, just having an extra change of clothes is very important. Tip number 6 is teaching them how to share and take turns and work with others. I know it sounds like common sense, but that is very important. We all know some kids don't work very well with others. They don't take turns. So teaching your kids that they have to share with others is going to be very important. Tip number 7 is having an early bedtime to prepare for the long days ahead with no naps. So some of us remember at one point in time you could take naps in kindergarten, but that's not really anymore. So they are usually really, really tired after school. So just making sure they have an early bedtime. I know it's like common sense, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. Number 8 would be like how to handle negative situations, like somebody pushing them or pulling their hair. My daughter had an incident the very first week of school. Some little boy pushed her. So teaching your kids like what to do in those instances, like telling the teacher or telling an adult or how to ask the teacher for help, that's very important too. That's like just a little extra tip, because sometimes it's like some kids are scared or they don't want to ask the teacher for help, especially in the beginning, because it's like a new situation and they're kind of scared to speak up or whatever. But telling them definitely it's okay to ask your teacher if you're confused or to help you tie your shoes or things like that, just like asking her for help. Number 9, be prepared for some tears, especially if your child has never been in this environment before. So like my daughter, she's never been to daycare or a preschool or any type of school like environment before she went to kindergarten. So it was definitely something new for her, and she definitely cried like the first week or two, like every single day. And for sure I cried the first day too when I was picking her up, just because that's a lot, leaving your kids with strangers for like 7 hours every day. You don't know what's happening, you don't know what's going on. So just be prepared for some tears, you know what I'm saying, and like encouraging words to them, because it is something new, especially if they're used to being with you. I know some kids, they go to daycare like all their lives, they're kind of used to that environment, but some kids aren't, and it's just like a shock to them. But the good thing about it is they will get used to it, you know what I'm saying? Eventually they will get used to it when you're doing that same routine every day. They start liking their teachers and their friends and their classmates, so that's a good thing. They will eventually get used to it. And my last tip number 10, is just being involved with your child. Make sure you're asking about their day, like what did you eat for lunch today? What did you learn? What classes did you go to? What, I think they were called specials they had. What specials did you go to? Who did you play with? What did you do at recess? Like just being involved with your child, because it really shows that you care about them and their days, and it really like makes them happy to be able to tell you what they did today. So that's it, guys. Just 10 quick little tips for if your child is going to kindergarten this year. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to, and I will see you guys in my next